Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Doa movie lovers wherever you are. I hope you are all in good health and always happy. On this occasion, I will tell the storyline of the film Spartacus Gods of the Arena, the first episode. At the beginning of this season we were shown a massive massacre led by Spartacus and his fellow gladiators, at the Batiatus residence. It also shows the killing of Barca at the hands of Batiatus, who is also one of his greatest gladiators. Then there is also the persecution of Magistred by Batiatus. And seen also the execution of Salonius, which was carried out by fighting against Spartacus. Then also shown the death of the wife of Spartacus, Sura. And the last one shown is the killing of Batiatus by Spartacus himself.
Under such a title we will climb beyond our station.
What is the storyline like? Follow the Doa movie. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you don't miss out with the next interesting videos. Greetings healthy always, greetings Lanong, true greetings, Rahayu.
When they may commit the act, my word is kept. They're reunited.
Stay in the Republic.
Perhaps to the very step.
In this episode begins with being shown a fight between burly humans. They are a gladiator. At that time humans were very easy to trade. The life of a slave is very insignificant in the eyes of his master. At that time, men were mostly used as fighters or worked in mining. And women were made servants. And not infrequently they are also made to satisfy desires or slaves to lust by the masters. We can see these gladiators have been shown by hundreds of people to fight to the death. When we focused on one man, he is one of the masters of the famous gladiators in his city, namely Capua. The man's name is Batiatus. Batiatus is a man who thirsts for honor. He did everything he could to make himself respected by the Roman officials. Batiatus was also a person who had many great fighters or gladiators in Rome. And one of his flagship fighters or gladiators is Gannicus. Batiatus also always gave birth to great gladiators from generation to generation. All the gladiators in the Batiatus residence were trained by someone better known as a doctory. And here also seen a beautiful woman who is the wife of Batiatus, namely Lucretia. And there is also a middle-aged man who is a close friend of Batiatus named Salonius, because this is a place where slaves can get honor. For those who win in a row will get a prize of freedom from slavery. And vice versa, for the loser will receive death in the middle of the arena. And we can also see a man sitting on the stage of the arena. This man's name is Phaeacius. This Phaeacius is one of the rivals of the Batiatus. He also has a lot of gladiators. And now it's time for the main battle to begin. Seen a gladiator belonging to Batiatus who was invincible. He is Gannicus. The audience cheered with adoration of his name. When the fight starts, it looks like he is fighting casually.
No man ever seriously.
There was tension there. I don't know what Gannicus was thinking, so he was seen sticking his sword into the ground, and after that he fought with no weapons. Considering his actions so far, and his big name as an invincible gladiator, then even with his bare hands Gannicus can paralyze and finish off his opponent. When his enemy fell, Gannicus took his sword again, and immediately stabbed it right in the stomach of his enemy, and followed by the next attack, by stabbing his sword again on the opponent's back, and in the end his opponent was helpless. Then Gannicus swung his two swords right at the opponent's neck until dead. And the victory for the umpteenth time was won again by Gannicus.
No, they are none of the important.
When he was about to return from the arena, Batiatus had ordered one of his subordinates to immediately order the doctory to give an appropriate gift to Gannicus.
You and your tiny cockpit is what he holds in abundance. The new arena will be.
On the way, they met Lucretia's close friend, Gaia.
Gaia? Required.
and in the end they decided to separate. Batiatus and Salonius then continued their journey to see the construction of a magnificent arena dedicated to the gladiators.
Which is why he never rose above his humble station.
After that, Batiatus and Salonius, who were about to go home, suddenly their eyes focused on a fight of a slave who was Tullius's slave. This long man named Crixus. It seems that Batiatus is attracted to the person with the skill to read someone who has the potential to become a gladiator. In the end, Batiatus bought Crixus at a price of 50 dinars, which he would later build and serve as his gladiator.
Even the lowest man can rise.
Meanwhile, at the Batiatus residence the gladiators were training. But different from Gannicus, because he is treated very special, because he always wins the game. And Batiatus also gave gifts to Gannicus, namely in the form of wine and several women to satisfy his desires. When night fell, seeing the gladiators finished training. And so does Gannicus, who after dating some of his female friends. Then he was approached by a woman named Melita. Melita approached Gannicus to pick up her female partner after making love with him. There, Gannicus was also seen talking to Eunomaus, who is Melita's husband. Eunomaus is also one of the great gladiators of the Batiatus residence. He had just recovered from his wounds from fighting with Theocles, who was also dubbed the Shadow of Death. Then Lucretia and Gaia are shown, who are nostalgic in the room. They tell stories of their life journeys to each other.
Gaia, I have far too many.
And the conversation was closed by Gaia, who suggested Lucretia to make love with the great gladiators she had, including Gannicus. But it was rejected by Lucretia, because Lucretia thought they were just lowly slaves in her eye.
It turns my stomach.
Then it is shown that Crixus has just entered the gladiator cell. It looks like Crixus has been belittled by one of the gladiators named Asher. He assumed that Crixus would not survive the final exam as a gladiator. But Crixus remains eager to achieve his title as a gladiator.
Blood and glory.
Worthy of the arena.
Tell him the feeling is well shed.
For a fucking stone.
After that, it was shown that Batiatus had regretted after buying a slave named Crixus at a high price. But Lucretia calms her husband down and reminds him of the original purpose of buying Crixus, which was to win over Tullius's heart. Then she also suggested that her husband come to Tullius to get her attention. The reason why they are so eager to take the attention of Tullius is unknown. And Lucretia also made a request to her husband, to allow Gaia to stay at his house for a few days. Lucretia's request was approved by Batiatus, and Lucretia seemed very happy to hear the answer from her husband, and after that they both made love in that place. And when they were making love, Gaia accidentally saw it. Then this makes Gaia become aroused, and also thirsty with a man's touch. Because it is told, Gaia is a widow who has been abandoned by her husband. The next day, the doctori, the trainer of Batiatus gladiators, was sticking out his whip. And that indicates if the practice will start soon. And on the same day, it was seen that Crixus also began to participate in training with the other gladiators. There are also other great gladiators belonging to Batiatus, such as Barca, and the defending champion, Gannicus, who looks like they have just woken up from their sleep. When he saw Batiatus, who was passing by, Unamos, who was training to fight with Barca, he seemed to start looking for Batiatus' attention, by attacking Barca, until Barca lost. He intends to seek the attention of Batiatus so that he is immediately re-entered in the next match by Batiatus, because he has just recovered from his severe wound against Theocles. However, the plan did not go smoothly. Instead, he was ordered by Batiatus to fight against Crixus, and also to guide Crixus. This then made Unamos very disappointed, and Unamos was seen venting his emotions to Crixus, by hitting him until he fell.
Hey son, are you a shadow now?
Here you can see Batiatus, who was accompanied by Salonius to go to meet Tullius. And when he met with Tullius, Photius was also seen with him. Of course, this had ruined Batiatus' plans. And sure enough, Tullius, who had been influenced by Photius, he actually insulted Batiatus, who had bought Crixus, by returning the money. Photius also insulted Batiatus by saying that the gladiator belonged to the sick Batiatus. Hearing those words made Batiatus angry, and so he challenged to fight Photius's gladiators with his eyes closed. And the match plan was then agreed upon by them to be carried out the next day.
A friendly...
Reduced in years when faced with a superior...
Arriving at home, Batiatus immediately told this news to his wife Lucretia, who was also there to see Gaia accompanying him. Not long after, Batiatus also told about this to his trusted gladiator, Eunomaus. Hearing this, Eunomaus immediately looked overjoyed, and thought that he would be the one who would be chosen for tomorrow's battle. But in fact, Batiatus was seen pointing at Gannicus, who was trusted to carry out the fight. Here then seen a change in the face of Eunomaus, which in the end he became disappointed.
Is he worthy of the man? This will not stand with you so.
I see your prayers.
After that, Eunomaus told this to his wife, and then the wife seemed to calm the Eunomaus, who still looked disappointed. And in the end they both fell in love.
Brother, come, sit, drink, join me. Meet you. Good deal.
Should be you two.
Come to us.
And the next day, it was time for the battle to begin. But there is something different in this battle, because this time the fight is not held in the arena, but in the middle of the market. This time Gannicus will face Photius's Otto the gladiator, who will be fought as his opponent. But Batiatus is surprised when Photius collects a promise from him, that his gladiator will fight against Photius's gladiator with his eyes closed.
Absent sight. Self. With tail between legs.
And without thinking, Gannicus immediately complied with Photius' request. However, this makes Batiatus very worried about the safety of Gannicus. And finally, with great compulsion, Batiatus could not stop him. Here we can see, this fight becomes very tense when Gannicus is overwhelmed by his opponent's Otto.
Thrilling.
And Gannicus was also seen being pierced by nails by his opponent in that fight. But Gannicus was an invincible gladiator. In the end the fight was won by Gannicus. And with this victory, the name Batiatus will certainly become more famous, and of course it will also be increasingly respected among the elderly and also the people of Capua. Tullius then invited Batiatus to meet him again, to offer to cooperate with Batiatus. And because he didn't want to waste this opportunity, without thinking about it, in the evening Batiatus immediately accepted the invitation, which resulted in a long conversation between Batiatus and Tullius.
More worthy opponents.
Impressive than your father's.
More agreeable to various...
Gannicus in the opening games.
Requires a word on the proper ear. For the broker arrangement, I offer to purchase your man.
Here Tullius finally said, if he will buy Gannicus from Batiatus at a price of 200 dinars. But the offer was rejected by Batiatus, because until now, there is still no substitute for a gladiator equal to Gannicus among the gladiators he has. Hearing the answer from Batiatus, Tullius, who felt that he had been insulted because his offer was rejected, he immediately beat Batiatus with Photius, who was also seen in that place. But here, Batiatus' wife is seen making love with her lesbian partner, Gaia. While Batiatus is seen who is badly injured from being beaten by Tullius, Photius, and his bodyguards. Curious about the continuation of the story? Continue to follow Doa Movie. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next interesting videos. And if you have other movie storyline references, please write them in the comments column. Healthy greetings always. Greetings Lanong. True greetings, Rahayu.